Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a safety meeting. We're gonna introduce new procedure, which is battery power tool procedure, because this one has been incident about using power lead, which is a risk of electrocution, trip hazard, and then efficiency doing the job, and then the process, and then we initiative using battery power tools, which is more efficient, but doesn't mean there is risk and hazard associated with battery power tools. Um, the purpose and scope of this procedure is to replace the main power tools with the battery power tool where practical. Usually when we on EWP or on the top of the structure, we use battery power tools. It's more efficient, to handy, and then make it easier to do the job. And the next one is this one is applied to all, the procedure is applied to all while employee and constructor while using portable power tools. Even though welding machine, they in power tool as well. It's a handy, but is a has a hazard and risk as well. And on this procedure, we cover selection of using the use of the battery charging and storage and disposal. The hazard of the battery power tools, the first one is fire and explosion. When the battery got puncture, which is somehow got hit with a sharp object or drop from the top and hit something sharp, it will create the fire and explosion. And the second hazard is like electrocution. Even though battery power is like sort of pocket of power, it still can electrocute us somehow. And the hazard is burn and injury from thermal runaway. Thermal runaway is like something inside the cell of battery, just maybe they overheat. When we are in the summer, field bright is always like 45 plus until 50. When we store battery on the steel and gonna store the heat, and the heat gonna cook the battery cell as well, and gonna that where the runaway thermals will explode. And then this mechanical injuries, which is a misuse. Anything can go wrong with the battery power tool. Right, tool selection. When appropriate to use battery power tools, when we don't have source power, and then no power lead on the top of the building or construction, that's handy. And then it prioritize in confined space, because confined space usually is moist and damp environment, which is when we bring the power lead, which is like we have greater risk to get electrocuted when we're doing a welding, inserting the welding rod as well. Is can the higher we got higher chance to get electrocuted. And then prioritize using power tools in confined space, wet area, working in height, and construction site. That's what mostly efficient. General requirement when using a battery is only use original equipment manufacturer. So there's a lot of battery manufacturer like Milwaukee, Makita. So we want to use the tool that belong to the manufacturer, the same brand basically, because if we use adapter, the chance that the power can go wrong, that's a bit higher. And inspection before use. Usually when before we use the battery, there is the connection between battery and the tool is a bit loose. That's where they can power to jump, that can create the heat and the potential fire is greater. And then when we carry to, we suggest to use the hard case to carry the battery power. And yeah, and then to storage this, we have to follow the original equipment manufacturer for storage and temperature limits. And the next one is the big one, fire and emergency response. Because this one, lithium ion fire, is when fire is on, it's a sustained toxic, because we can't inhale. Basically, we have to stay away. When small device, sort of small item, the battery explode, so we can use fire extinguisher or just immerse in the water. But when the big one, sort of, we have like sort of car, when it's not car, we hardly using the, but there is mining that using the what do you call, electric car now. But for the battery, for the tools, we have, for example, if a charging station blew up, something like that, we have to evacuate basically, and call a fire response or ESO to contain the fire. Charging rule, yeah, this one here, they regulate when we charging, we have to charge in the charging station. We're not allowed to charging on the job, because the job is on site, which is the environment should be open when we have rain or hot, and then that make the chance the battery power is in a greater risk. And then never leave on charging on after full charge. We have to not leave battery overcharging. That's the main reason, because overheat can create thermal runaway. And then allow battery to cool before charging, because when we using the power tools, when we using it, and the battery gonna be feeling hot, and then if it's running out, the power stop, the tool stop, and then we're not allowed to charge straight away. Just let the cell cooling down, and then we can recharge. Now, and storage and disposal. In the procedure, we're not allowed to disposal the battery in any place or in a general waste. So we have to follow this procedure. We have to store them in the cool and dry ventilated areas, and we have to use hard case. We don't want to do that. We have to do that because we don't want something sharp hit the actual battery and just gonna explode straight away. And the next one is keep away from the heat. Actually in the summertime it's always hot, and then we have to keep it cool in the ventilated area. And then combustible and metal object. So this metal object can hit the battery power, battery tool power, that can create fire straight away. And this disposal, another thing, this one here, when the cell battery is getting low, it's not 50% health, about that we start to dispose it. When we dispose it, we have to put them in designated area. We're not allowed to put in a general waste, because that one can create fire as well. So we have put the tape before we dispose it. So we have to put information on the actual battery, and then use bio recycle facility, because on site we have a facility to contain the dead battery. But even though that, the actual carbon itself still can be activated to create fire. And one thing, the last thing, never place in general waste, because that one can burn the place as well. The worker responsibility. Before we using the power tools and the battery, we have to must inspect them before we use. Because when we attach the battery and the tool itself, maybe there is a bit wobbly and then create the gap. That the gap can the power can jump, can create the heat and can create fire. And then it's our responsibility as well to follow charging and storage procedure, because we're not allowed to charging on site at the job. I mean, yeah, we have to charge it on the charging station, which is designated charging station, which is safer. And then we have to report any defect and any damaged battery immediately, put info tag, and then we not use put an auto service tag, so we can put aside and then not reuse it again. And then yeah, we have to participate in a refreshing training, because some new people come in or new deployment new guys. Basically we have to train them the way procedure, how to manage the battery storage charging and basically and disposal. That's the main thing. If new guys not familiar, we have to like sort of buddy system. We have to tell them how we run how we do it, how safely in our operation. And just to recap, our procedure is like the battery power tool is safe, then coded to reduce electrocution risk, but still has a hazardous fire, explosion, and toxic gases. The control is to follow the original equipment manufacturer. Yeah, safe charging station and correct storage and disposal, which is this one keep our operation safe. And the last one is everyone has duty for compliance and reporting. Make sure we are reporting the damaged battery that are not exposed to reuse and then lead to fire. Questions so far?
That's a good one. You mentioned what the immediate action would be for fires. I was wondering what the immediate action for burns or injuries caused by thermal runaway would be.
The immediate action when we every case fire from battery, if small one, we just put out with the fire extinguisher or immerse with the water. But when the bigger one, like sort of in charging station or welder battery, there's a bigger battery tool, which is we need to evacuate, because the gas is more than a single battery, like sort of in our phone or in a rattle gun or grinder, which is the immediate action for small one, which is pour out with the fire extinguisher, and big one we evacuate, call up ESO and then fire warden to put up to contain the gases and the fire itself. Yeah, that's the immediate action that we can do, the option. But every place is a bit different. But in our place is the immediate action is just put up fire when it's small, when it's safe as well. And then when the big one, we have to call up the competent qualified person to contain the gases and fire. Alright. Anything else? Yeah. Oh, thank you. Great.
Thank you.